Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. I am in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'm visiting Judd Kuhn Chevrolet. And today I'm checking out a 2016 Chevrolet Cruze in the Premier trim level. The 2016 Chevrolet Cruze is completely redesigned, totally different from the previous years. So let's go ahead and check it out. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, you can see it has these really classy 18-inch alloy wheels that really look good. They're a perfect size for this size vehicle, and also it goes good with the color as well. You have four-wheel disc brakes with solid disc brakes in the back and ventilated in the front. So the name of this color is Siren Red Tint Coat, which is pretty interesting to me, which looks pretty good. It looks good with the chrome accents here in the front, as well as the alloy wheels. So let's take a look here in the front. You can see the whole front has been redesigned. It gives you more of a catchy look. I mean, it catches your eye a little bit more than the previous models, according to me anyway. And you can see it has the fog lights here at the bottom, and then you have a bifunction projector halogen headlight system there that serves for both the low beam and the high beam. You also have a LED accent around the bottom there. And you see this one has the RS badging here in the front. The RS package gives you fog lights, a body kit, which is this portion here below the doors, a rear deck lid spoiler, and the 18-inch alloy wheels. So this is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key, and it's very high quality feeling. It's just a good solid feeling key. And you can see it has very clear buttons here, the lock and unlock buttons there, remote start, and access the trunk, and a button that's like a panic button there. You also have a physical key on the inside of the key fob, just in case you need that. So the remote start, you just have to push the lock button and push and hold the remote start button, and the vehicle will go ahead and start up. Now it's started now. If we want to turn it off, we just push and hold that button, and it'll turn right back off. So the key is basically designed to keep in your pocket or your purse and never actually have to take it out in order to use the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pocket, and I can walk up to the vehicle and you can see that the lock is locked. So we can go ahead and push this button to unlock it, or we can push it again to lock it. So it's that simple. So see, it's locked, push the button. Now it'll only work when the key is close by the vehicle. So within a certain proximity, I think it's like 5 feet or so, the key has to be, and it'll work. Now this will work for the front and the back doors, just the same way. And the trunk, by the way. Okay, let's take a look on the inside of the passenger door. You see it has some pretty neat styling there. And all around your arm is soft to the touch. So that here on the side and down here. Then you have the French contrast stitching there, which is looking pretty cool. You have some chrome accents. Most everything is black, maybe different shades of black, but it's all black. And then you have this little pocket right here, storage pocket down here as well. You can fit a bottle or whatever you want in there. And it has the premium Bose sound system, so there's one of the speakers there. There's your threshold. You have manually adjusted seats here on the passenger side, but you do have the ability to raise and lower the seat by using this right here. Usually that's reserved for the driver's side on a lot of vehicles, but this one has it on the passenger. Leather seats with the contrast stitching right here. Very comfortable seats, by the way. And man, you can be extremely tall and fit in this vehicle. The seats go back quite a ways. So there's your leg room, and you can see the floor mats clip in place so that they don't move around on you. There's your dashboard with the contrast stitching there as well. Glove compartment. Take a look at that. Now you can see it's kind of a little bit non-traditional to where it has this shelf system right in there, or it's like a shelf instead of a pocket. But you do have some, you can put little things right here to have them quickly access, like your registration or something right here, so you don't have to dig for it. Let's take a look here in the back. Here's the inside of the back door. Similar styling as the front, but the arrangement of the pockets are a little bit different. You can see you have a little pocket there, And down here, you do have the contrast stitching and the soft to the touch surfaces back here as well. There's your threshold, your leather seats back here as well. You have a center armrest which folds down and folds up and has two cup holders there in case you need those. Of course, those could be moved out of the way, like so, in case you need a center passenger. And the center passenger, there's a small hump here in the center. So they would need to take that in consideration if you're carrying 3 people back here. There's some pockets in the back of the front seats. You also have heated seats front and back. So there's your heated seat controls for the back seat drivers. You also have a power supply back here. And that's a AC 120 volt, similar to what you'd find in your house. Now it's only 150 watts, so you can't power a hair dryer, but you can plug in a computer, plug in your cell phone to charge it, that kind of thing. Does have the latch system for car seats back here with the little attachments in here, and then the anchors are just up here behind the headrests. The fuel door is on the passenger side, so you can kind of talk your passengers into pumping the gas for you. You just push it, open it up like so, and then you have the little cap that unscrews, and it has this little tether string here so you don't lose your cap, and a place to hang it so it's out of the way when you're pumping your gas. Keeps it from dangling down, scratching your paint, and it just generally keeps it out of the way. Let's take a look here in the back. You see the deck lid spoiler there on the back of the trunk. Kind of small, but that's good. You don't want it too standing out for this type of vehicle. So you can see it has the parking sensors across here at the back. So it'll beep at you as you're backing up if you get close to something. And you also have the backup camera right up in here, a little bit to the left side. So to open up the trunk, as long as the vehicle's unlocked or you have the key with you, there's a little button right under here. It's a rubber button. You can kind of feel it better than you can see it, and it kind of pops open the trunk like so, and it kind of lifts up by itself and gets out of your way. So here's your trunk area. You have a place for a cargo net there, grocery bag holder there on the side, right there, and you have quite a bit of space. And you do have a 60-40 split seat where it folds down to add to your cargo space in case you need it. But under here, this cover lifts up. This is kind of interesting to me. You have the spare tire and tools, of course. That's not too interesting. It is good that it has it because a lot of new vehicles do not have a spare tire, so you want to make sure you do have a spare tire before you go on a trip or something. Has a little bit of space around the edge there. Of course, you can use that for cargo space, just kind of get things out of the way if you need to. But check it out, the battery is actually located back here. That's now sometimes you see the battery located more in the back of the vehicle in the trunk area, but this is right behind the back seats, which is a little bit interesting. I haven't seen one with the battery located there yet. But that's pretty neat. You definitely don't want to use that space for cargo because you don't want to lay stuff on top of the battery. Here on the side mirrors, it's on both sides. You see that little car there with a little star next to it. That's part of your blind spot monitoring system. That'll actually illuminate if there's somebody in your blind spot. Now there's a sensor in this general area on the back of the vehicle. So when there's a car in your blind spot, that will illuminate to let you know that there's a car there. Now if you turn your turn signal on in that direction while there's a car in the way, it's going to give you an audible warning as well. So starting the vehicle without the remote start, you just get in the vehicle with the key. The key has to be inside somewhere. Put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button. So here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see there's plenty of room. It's open space. Floor mat is snapped in place. I think that's kind of a security feature there as far as I'm concerned. You have a place here for your left foot to rest. Your accelerator and brake pedals are there, and then you have a foot actuated parking brake. Now this is kind of interesting. To open up the hood, if you were to just pull this out one time like so, the hood will not open. So let's go ahead and show you. It does not have a latch under the hood, so it's not going to open. You actually have to pull it twice to open the hood. I haven't seen this before. It's kind of interesting. You pull it twice. Okay, so now the hood will actually open. Once that latch is pulled twice, the hood will literally just lift right up. No catch or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But it does require a prop to hold up the hood. You can see it goes right up there. You have the bow tie underneath the hood. So here is your engine. It's a 1.4 liter turbocharged 153 horsepower Ecotec 4-cylinder inline 4-cylinder engine, made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now you can see it's slightly covered up with plastic, but you can actually see some engine here in the front, which I really like to see engine when I lift the hood, not really plastic so much. Let's take a look at the inside of the driver's door. It's basically a mirror of the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have the power window buttons there, power door locks, the side mirror adjustments. You also have a button here to open up your trunk. And the power windows are one touch up and down. So I can push it one time, goes up, push it one time, goes down. Now the back windows, same thing. One touch down. You have to hold it to go up though. And they go up and down pretty quick. So here's your driver's seat. Now it has the power adjustments for the driver's seat. It's like a dentist chair, it goes up and down, back and forth and all that good stuff. Very comfortable seats and roomy. Man, this thing is roomy. I mean, I can put the seat all the way back so you can get an idea. And it's like you could barely, my legs can barely touch the pedals, and I'm 6 feet tall with the seat all the way back. So you can be like an NBA player and drive this car apparently. Your headlight controls are here to the left of the steering wheel. And you have an automatic function, parking lights, and the headlights there. You can also turn on and off your daytime running lights by pushing it to the left here. And then you have the fog lights. You can turn them on and off by pushing that button. There's your dimmer switches for your interior gauges. You can make it brighter or dimmer like so. You also have a tilt and telescoping steering columns. You just unlock it there. You can move it up and down. You can move it in and out. Get it right where you want it and then lock it in place. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look here on the inside. Really comfortable seats, plenty of room. I mean, I have like plenty of leg room. I can put my legs completely straight out. My knee room is great on both sides. Just overall comfort. So before we go ahead and start checking out some buttons, let's take a look at the window sticker so you can get some information if you want it. Just use the pause button and you can kind of read it in detail if you need to. Look at that, 40 on the highway, 30 in the city with an average of 34. Siren red tint code. You thought I was joking about that. Look at there, tint codes. And then you have 1.4 liter variable engine, variable valve timing is what it's referring to. Alright, enough of that. Let's take a look at the vehicle. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here on the steering wheel. It's a leather wrap steering wheel. Very good thickness, extremely high quality feeling. So it just has a really good texture to the leather, and it's tight. It's tight on the steering wheel. It's not loose or anything like that. And it kind of, I don't know how to explain it. You have to experience it for yourself. It's kind of smooth, not super grippy, but not too slippery. Then you have the chrome accents there with the bow tie in the middle, of course. Okay, so you have some buttons on the back of the steering wheel. Before you even get to the front, back here, you have a volume for your radio, which is kind of like an up and down toggle switch there. So that way your hand is kind of resting here, you're driving, you can adjust the volume up and down. On the left side, you can cycle through your favorites, like your presets on your radio, once you have them set up. But here on the left is your cruise control. You have a heated steering wheel up here as well as the heated seats. You can turn that on and off here. Cruise control here, you can set it, turn it on, set it, go change your speed, and cancel it there, turn it off. You also have a collision alert warning system. I'm going to pop it up to show you. So you can see that if you keep pushing it, it'll change the distance. So once the vehicle senses that there's like going to be a collision imminent, it's going to really alert you. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it actually applies braking power to slow you down to mitigate the crash. You also have a lane departure warning system here, so you can turn that on and off. Here on the right side, you have your Bluetooth phone. You can answer calls here. This is a voice recognition system, and you can answer calls and make calls by pushing this button. You can also say commands. There's lots of different commands that you can say with the voice recognition system. The whole idea is to use your voice instead of your hands. So basically you push that button and you can, keep your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, and you can say certain commands. And you can hang up on calls here, whether they're ready to hang up or not. You just push that button. And then you have these arrows with a check mark in the middle, which corresponds to this screen here between the gauges, which we'll get to in a minute. Your windshield wiper controls are here on the right. And your turn signal switch is over here, and it's also your dimmer switch for your headlights. Now it also has an automatic dimmer switch, so you can turn that feature on and off by pushing that button. Okay, so here's your gauges. You have your RPMs on the far left, your speedometer that goes up to 160 on your far right, and then you have your fuel gauge right up here, and then your engine coolant temperature there to the right, top right. But right here in the center, you have this screen. It's an information screen. It has a digital speedometer displayed right now. Shows your cruise control is on, shows you what gear you're in, and then you see that W to the bottom left. That is your digital compass, showed which way your vehicle is facing. So using these buttons here, I'm going to kind of cycle through to show you that there's more information here. I'm going to scroll down, and you see that little scroll bar there to the right. It shows you that you're scrolling down. So I'm scrolling down. This shows you your trip. You have a trip A and trip B. You also can get, for more information here on the right, you can reset it. So I push the right arrow, goes over to the reset button. Alright, if I push the left button, it kind of gives you a main menu, info, audio, phone, navigation options there. Kind of pops out. Scrolling down again, trip B. Scrolling down again, fuel range. This is how far you can drive before you have to get gas, approximately, of course. Scroll down again, oil life, and your tire pressure on each tire. Scroll down again is your fuel economy, last 50 miles. Of course, that's not accurate. Once you start driving the vehicle, it will become accurate, but just here in the parking lot, it's not going to be accurate. And a blank screen, and just in case you don't want anything on that screen. And then it scrolls back to your digital speedometer there in the center. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the center stack. Look at that, piano black surroundings, kind of accenting the nice black touchscreen. Super vibrant colors, high contrast, look really, really good. Okay, so the touchscreen, you have your outside temperature there on the top left, and then you have your clock, which is good to have, of course. Then you have these icons here. Similar to your computer, you have quick access to specific places. The first one here is your audio. So there's your audio screen, your presets, your favorites will be across the bottom. What your radio station you're on. You can change from AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of thing. And then you can also play music through a media source, which we'll get to in a minute. That's like your auxiliary and your Bluetooth audio and your USB port, which we'll get into that in a few minutes. We'll show you where those ports are anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit the home button, hit the phone button. Once you pair a phone, you'll have access to recent calls, your phone book. You'll have the voice commands there to where you can call somebody by saying a name in your phone book. And you can also pair, I think it's up to 6 phones on a priority system, depending on who you want to be in higher or lower priority. Projection. This is nothing's going to happen now, okay? But once you plug in an Android phone or an Apple phone into the USB system, it will allow you to have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto you know, according to what you have, and it'll install it on there, and it'll replace that little icon there to the appropriate one. And you know, that's a totally different system than this system, so not going to get into it too far with that. Take a look at the navigation screen. Let's go ahead and zoom out so we can look at it. Yes, you can see the roads fairly well, and you can see which direction you're facing. Let's kind of zoom out because I want to show you how far we are from the ocean. Okay, so there we are in North Myrtle Beach at Judd Kuhn Chevrolet. Not very far from the ocean. You can see the ocean right there. And you know, you can put in, of course, a destination here. You can put an address, an intersection, and you can always go to recent places as well. Alright, tons of settings here in case you want to change display settings, whether you want the car to beep when you lock the doors, that kind of stuff. It also has a valet mode. Pandora, which is an internet radio system, so you can play that through your cell phone. Now it's going to use the data from your cell phone, from what I understand, so you want to be aware that it's using the data from your cell. If you have like a limited data plan, you want to be aware of that. Check out the weather. You can see hourly weather, 5-day weather, en route. If you have like a route loaded up in your navigation system, it'll show you that. So that's pretty cool. And you can also text. Once you pair a phone, you can send and receive texts using voice commands, which is pretty good. Keeps you from getting in an accident. Then you have your OnStar button, and then also you can see the traffic depending on where you're going, stuff like that. Alright, so down here you have a volume button, change through your stations. You have a home button. You have a back button. Certain screens you go back out of, you can go quickly into your radio and media buttons there. A little bit of redundancy, but that's good because you have more ways of doing the same thing. There's your four-way flashers. You have your fan speed, your temperature, where you want the air to blow here in the center, and then you have your recirculate the air, your front and rear defrosters. You also have an automatic feature, so you can just set the temperature the way you want it and let it do its thing. And then you have a 3-stage heated seat, so you just push it. It's high, medium, low, or off. Little storage compartment down here. You have a 12-volt power supply on this side, and then you have your USB and auxiliary inputs here on the left for plugging in your cell phone or whatever. And then you can, has a nice pocket right here. There's some cup holders. Really like the black, shiny black accent around them. Okay, so here's your shifter for your 6-speed automatic transmission. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can see what the backup camera looks like. You see those grid lines are active, so you move the steering wheel, they'll move back and forth. Let's go ahead and neutral. There's drive. This is your normal drive position, and it will cycle through, you know, just kind of normally. Now if you need to go into a low range, just go all the way down here, and this will keep the vehicle in a lower gear ratio, and you can actually adjust the highest gear ratio by going up and down here, and you'll know which gear you're in because it'll show you right here. And that way, if you're going down a hill and you need to downshift, things like that, that's what it's for. Okay, so you have your parking sensor button here. You can turn that feature on and off. Like say if you're backing up close to something and it's beeping, driving you nuts, you can turn it off if you need to. Your traction control here, you can turn that on and off. Looks like a place to put some quarters right there, is what it looks like to me. And then you have a wireless charging place here, so you can put your wireless, your phone that has wireless charging. You just place it in there, and it'll go ahead and charge your phone for you. Little storage pocket that's perfect for putting the key if you don't want to have it in your pocket. So here's your armrest. It's pretty soft, kind of gives, and it's, I guess, is big enough to share with your passenger maybe. It lifts up, and you have these storage pockets in here. I don't know if you can see in there really good, but you have this little felt at the very bottom. Let me put the night vision on, maybe that'll help. There we go. Yeah, so you can actually see down in there. It's pretty good depth, so you can put some stuff. You have an auto dim rear view mirror. Now it's auto dimming right now because I have the shade over the light sensor. And then you have your OnStar buttons right here. You have a button for interior lights, so you have a little quick reading light there and there. And keep the sun out of your face, hopefully. Your interior lights, you can have those turn on when you open up the door or not. By doing that, you can turn them on, all on like so. You can have them turn on with the door, or you can just have them off like so. That's how that works. There's your reading light button there. You have an emergency button, OnStar, and a voice recognition button right here. There's your visor, and now your visor has mirrors and lights in it. And the visor also extends out, so you can get that just that right spot. Okay, you also have a sunroof. So here's your sunroof, and you can see it has a shade that completely blocks 100% of the light, and you can open that up like so. If you want to just get some light shining in, you can do that. Now you have some buttons over here. One will just kind of bend it open like so. The other one will open it up like all the way, so that way you can get some airflow through the vehicle. Or you can close it up if you want to. Okay, let's take a look at the visibility in the back. So those C-pillars give you a little bit of trouble there as far as seeing, but not too bad. You do have the blind spot monitoring system, the backup camera, but not too bad. You can see out the sides and straight out the back really well. Alright, there you have it. 2016 Chevrolet Cruze in the Premier trim level. So it's a really interesting vehicle. They completely redesigned it. I'm glad they did. I like the new design a lot better myself. The old Cruze was a really good car. I mean, a lot of people liked it. Got really good gas mileage. It held its value in the secondary market. So I liked it before, and I like this one even better. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section. And thank you to Judd Kuhn Chevrolet here in Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle. Again, see you next time.